Hey guys, Caleb's Cards here, coming at you with another binder video of going through the TTM autograph collection. This binder is going to be NASA astronauts and space related. And I do apologize if you hear some background noise. One of the neighbors is building the shed, so if you hear a bunch of noise, that's what that is. But it will not stop the progress of going through the collection. So here we go. This is a smaller binder. There's lots of signature cards like these when I first started writing to astronauts. Since this is small enough, I think we can go and try and name them off. This is Roy Bridges. I believe that's Guion Bluford, maybe? Not sure. Nope, Eugene Kranz. That one's Guion Bluford. You got Richard Covey there. Mike McCauley. Tony England. Also had Gerald P. Carr, Charles Bolden, and Chris Kraft Jr. in there as well. Some of these guys are World War II or Korea and Vietnam veterans as well. Here we got Scott Altman, Bob Crippen. Do I recognize any? Milton Windler. He's part of the Apollo Skylab. Richard Truly. We also got Eileen Collins. Lauren Shriver's here in the middle. John Casper. Susan J. Helms down here. And Kent Reminger. Here we have a couple signed by Brian Duffy. He included that card. Along with Robert Hoot Gibson. We got Ken Reitler with these two. That's John Fabian, Michael Coates, Dave Ritzma, and Carol Bobko. So we have Winston E. Scott there. It's the only one I recognize immediately. So Frederick Hauk, Michael R. Clifford, Christopher Cassidy up here. He was also a Navy SEAL. Carol Meade, James Newman, Clayton C. Anderson, Don L. Lind, and Robert L. Stewart. Bob Stewart, Robert, I should have recognized that one. He's a pretty popular one to send to. We got Miss Barbara Morgan. Looks like Alex Lee, maybe. David Hillman, Jim Voss, John Phillips. Richard Mullane is here, Jack Lausma, Michael Foreman, and James Bagan. Of course, here in the front, we already know who they are. Gene Kranz, Frederick Gregory, Ed Gibson, John Conrad. And I believe this is also John Conrad right here as well. These cards came from Nathaniel Go. And I sent a whole bunch out. Also some folks here. Christopher J. Ferguson, John M. Grunsfield, Bruce Melnick, and Peter J. Armitage. And rounding out the cards here, we got Bob Crippen again, Dick Gordon, Brian Duffy again, a business card signed by Brooks Moore. And these were a few more items sent, I believe, by Robert Senker, maybe. I think that's where those came from. And then we get into the 4x6 photos. So this should be Frederick Gregory here, I believe. Yep. Along with Miss Bonnie Dunbar. She also included a sticker. We also have Robert J. Senker, John David Bartow, and another Robert J. Senker. Here's some folks that worked in the administrative portion or in the lab portion. I guess Ed Fendel, Jerome Apt, and Neil Hutchinson. Here's some Navy SEAL rescues from, I think it was the Apollo 11 rescue. Clancy Heidelberg. Got Jim Voss and Frederick Leslie. George S. Abbey there. Catherine Sullivan and Vance Hagee. There's Steve Bales, John Wolfram, and John Fabian. There's Miss Joanne Morgan. Donald Holmquist and Jake Garn. This is the first person to touch moon dust, and that is Terry Slezak. We got Don Lind and Michael T. Good also on that page. There's Ed Gibson again. Kenneth Cockrell and Frederick Hauk. Here's Mark Kelly, Michael Clifford, and Guy S. Gardner. Got Kevin Craigle on a couple, and Richard Richards. That's pretty easy to remember. We got Miss Pamela Melroy on a couple, and Robert Cabana. I think Miss Melroy was a teacher or a professor, I'm not sure. We got Thomas Dale Akers, Jack Lausma again, and this one's John O'Crayton. I guess his name is right there, really small. That's why I didn't write on the back. Got Jim Newman on a couple, and Roy Bridges down there. Here's a little bit more of a current NASA astronaut, and that's Scott Altman. That's George Zamka, and this is Ferenc Pavliks. He helped design the Mars or the Moon rover, I believe. We got Bob Stewart on a couple. He does some public speaking from time to time. And Stephen G. Bowen. There's Homer Hickam, portrayed by, oh shoot, what's his name? I can see his face, but I can't think of his name. It's from October Sky. But anyways, yeah, that's who he's portrayed by. That's his movie. I think he just passed away too, sadly. Here we got Heinz G. Struck. I believe this was from Henry S. and Carl Walls. There's Glenn Looney and Norm Thagard. We got Mike Lambton and Charles Geimer and Margaret Seddon. We got Dee O'Hara. She was a nurse. She treated the was it Apollo? Might have been the Apollo 11. I don't remember. It's been a while. Got Jeffrey A. Hoffman and Ronald Grab. Here's a pretty famous photo. Gravity's causing her hair to go everywhere. That's why she was normally wearing it down like that. But that is Marcia Ivins and Joseph R. Tanner. And this is the old photos that used to, when I changed the file, I'd print their name in there so I wouldn't have to write on it. I wish they'd do that again because it helps save the bleeding of the ink on the backside. But I guess beggars can't be choosers. Got James Weatherby, Don McMonigal, and Sherwood Spring. These are some of the first ones I sent out. They're in a weird order. Linda Godwin, Stephen Swanson, and Roger K. Crouch. Got a few more before we get into larger stuff. Jeanette Lynn Cavandi was on the top. William Reddy and Rex Wolheim in the lower section there. Lauren Acton and Martin J. Federman. Lauren Acton signed a couple. This is a favorite photo of mine as well when I found that. There's Daniel C. Bernstein, as well as Greg H. Johnson was the these two here. We got John Blaha. I think he signed all 3 of those. We have Jerry Griffin and Paul Lockhart and William G. Gregory. John W. Aaron signed the back. He was a flight controller for Apollo 12. There's Eileen Ochoa. Robert Hoot Gibson again. This is Adamson and somebody else. James C. Adamson. And I didn't write who that was, but those 2 I believe were from Henry S. and Gifts. Well, I think the first day covers were, and then I sent them off, maybe. That's what I did. Well, this one may have actually been from, I'm not sure. Jerry Leninger, that's from Sean Hewick. Hugh Harris. Got Brian Duffy and James Van Houten on a couple. There's James W. Christie. He discovered, I think, was it Pluto's moon? Maybe? Something like that. Sidney M. Gutierrez and Arthur Cosgrove with a ton of stuff on the back. I believe he was a moon video engineer, I believe. What it was. Michael Coates, Sidney M. Gutierrez again, and Lawrence DeLucas. Got Jerry Bostick and Gentry Lee and Richard Harrison Tree. And this is where the photo got a little messed up there in the printing. Got Winston E. Scott again, as well as Wesley Chester and Wallace Johnson, who has a really interesting story. Also is a military veteran, well-decorated military veteran. We got Miss Joan E. Higginbottom and Stan Love. Let me go into a few 5x7s that I have. This was an extra, I believe, that he had included. Got Gary Payton, Dion Bluford, Warren Sullivan. Looks like Miss Seddon, Jim Willoughby or something like that, maybe. I can't really read that one. I can't read that one either. These are signed by the same person. Reitler, Ken Reitler. That's who it is. This is Anthony England. I'm not sure who that one is. A lot of the astronauts like to put a lot of inscriptions, which is always really cool. Like Dream Big. It's always a cool one. Here's Sigmund Jan. I tried writing him, but didn't get anything back, so I think I purchased that one. He was a Russian astronaut. Cosmonaut, I think, is that what they're called, or something like that. Here's Richard Covey on a couple. Then we got some 8x10s. This one was Chris Cassidy. I sent a self-addressed envelope to him, and they included this 8x10. Here's something from Edgar Guest. He was astronaut. He included, it looks like kind of a sermon outline. John M. Grunsfield. J. Clark Bucky Jr. He included that one, I believe. That's Miss Tracy Caldwell Dyson. And Wesley Chester, who later became a Baptist preacher after the military. So he includes some nice comments on his faith. So we were pretty similar. I'm a Baptist as well. So. And then we got Johnny Kim. And then I have one more 8x10 I need to add that came in recently, but I haven't put it in there yet. I kind of ran out of storage supplies to put my autographs away, so that's why I'm behind. But anyways, that's the astronaut collection. It is still slowly growing. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully those noises from the shed weren't too much of a distraction. Hopefully it didn't translate too much over into the filming part, but I do appreciate you checking out this video with me and look forward to doing more. So talk to you guys all later. And as well, thank you so much for the support on the previous video. I wasn't expecting to get as many views on the little family genealogy video, but I do appreciate you checking that out, and I would definitely encourage you to dig into your family genealogy. Get on Ancestry.com or those other ancestry sites. I think 23andMe might be one, and all kinds of stuff, and just learn about where you came from. So it's always fun. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you have a great Saturday and weekend, and see you all later. Bye.